What is up, race fans? My name's Owen, and welcome back to the Bent Fender podcast. And in this one, I will be reviewing the Indy Road Course. So, a couple things before the race. Kurt Busch is out again this week. Ty Gibbs replacing him. He is also out for the next race. And on the front row was Tyler Reddick and Austin Cindric. And making his Cup debut in this race was Daniel Kvyat, or something like that. And two drivers had to go to the rear, and that was Almirola and Cody Ware. So, on to the race. So the first stage was 15 laps. Reddick takes the lead off the start. Then a whole bunch of people spun at like turn one on like different laps. So on the first lap, it was Justin Haley spins. Then a couple turns later, it was Ross Chastain that spun. Then Hamlin spun. Then Keselowski spun. And since we were on a road course, it stayed green, rather than if we were on an oval where if you even get loose, they throw a caution. Moving on, Ross Chastain and Hand, one of the newer drivers, they got together and spun. No cautions so far. Then Chris Buescher had to, when he was pitting, his car was on fire after one of the earlier hits. And so he had to get extinguished a couple times, and he had to go in at least 3 times just to get the smoke out of the car. So he was a couple laps down. Then Chase Briscoe took the lead, and Briscoe won stage 1. And at the end of stage 1, there were 4 cars a lap down. On to stage 2, which was 20 laps. Chase Briscoe won the race off pit road, but William Byron stayed out, and he leads. Then Kevin Harvick spins. Then Ryan Blaney takes the lead. Then Almirola gets into Kyle Larson. And then both of them pit. Oh, nope. All right, moving on. AJ Allmendinger, Harrison Burton, and Cole Custer all spin. Then I saw Hazeman's off track, or Heisman. I think that's how you say it. I'm still not 100% sure. Then Almirola is out of the race after failing the crash clock. Then Christopher Bell takes the lead when Blaney pit. And Christopher Bell wins stage 2. So at the end of stage 2, there were 2 cars out or off track, and 4 cars laps down. Now for the third and final stage, it was 47 laps. Bell did not come into pit, so he leads. Then Keselowski spins. Then Daniel Kvyat was off track. He was like slow all race. Never really showed much speed, so he was a couple laps down. Then Tyler Reddick took the lead. And then a couple laps later, both Kvyat and Heisman come back on track, which didn't really last long. Then Ryan Blaney took the lead. And then after that, Keselowski spins for the 3rd time in this race. He was not having a good race, if I'm being honest. It seems like he didn't have control of his car at all. So yeah. Then after that, Allmendinger takes the lead. And then Heisman retires from this race. When he came back on track, he was like 20 laps down or something. So I think he was just clocking laps. Then Todd Gilliland took the lead. And then Justin Hand took the lead. Which this was on green flag pit stops. And then the big one. We saw Ty Dillon have major damage. And what happened was... And Kyle Larson also had some damage. But Kyle Larson, as they were going into turn 1, his brakes seemed to fail. And he just took Ty Dillon out. Which was not his intent. There was nowhere for either of them to go. So that brings out the first caution of the race. Both drivers were able to walk away. Larson actually ran over to Ty Dillon and I'm guessing apologized because there was nothing either of them could have done. Just missing the wreck was Ricky Stenhouse. I don't know how he missed this. Both of them could not continue in the race. So both of them are out. Off the restart, Tyler Reddick takes the lead. Then Kevin Harvick and Alex Bowman get together. Both of them are out of the race. But this was not a caution. It was not a caution. I think they just spun and were like, yeah, it's not worth continuing. Then Ty Gibbs spins. And then Christopher Bell blows a tire, bringing out the second caution of the race. Off that restart, it was chaos in turn 1 with Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, and William Byron all spinning within turn turn one going to turn two. Less than half a lap later, Austin Dillon spins. He ends up getting stuck in the gravel and brings out the third and final caution of the race. Then, off this restart, Ross Chastain just guns it and misses turn one. And then Ryan Blaney spun. Chastain ended up getting on track and was battling with Reddick for the lead. And then Tyler Reddick ends up winning this race. And so the top five were Tyler Reddick, Austin Cindric, Harrison Burton, Todd Gilliland, and Bubba Wallace. So, Chastain ended up getting a penalty at the end of it for missing turn one. So he ended up finishing, I think it was 27th. I think that's where he finished. And one more shout out, Ty Gibbs finished 14th in his second race, which good for him. All in all, this was a hectic race when it came to turn one. But the rest of the race was okay. It was hard to pass, but I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10 for the race. And this is where I'm going to end this episode here. So please remember to like and subscribe, as well as go follow my other channels, one being my main channel of Fan Rantan, and one being a D&D channel where me and my friends play D&D. That is called Drunkards and Dumbasses. And join me for my next review, which is going to be at Richmond. Unfortunately, I could not record the Michigan race, so there's not going to be a Michigan review. So join me for my Richmond review. Should be coming later this week. So, we will see you next time. Peace.